All right, let's dive in. Today, we're unpacking the whole journey of site reliability engineering. We're going to explore how SRE teams really evolve, from that adrenaline-fueled chaos of firefighting to a much more proactive, collaborative state of engineering. It's quite a transformation, so let's get started.
So this is a big question, and it's one that every organization with an SRE team should really be asking itself. Because look, a lot of teams start out as these reactive firefighters, the heroes of the 3 a.m. outage. But that's just the beginning of the adventure. The real goal, the real journey, is so much more proactive and, honestly, way more impactful.
So what's the first real step on this path? Well, it's this crucial transformation, moving from being a firefighter to becoming an advocate.
And this is where the magic really starts to happen. See, as a firefighter, collaboration is a necessity. It's what you have to do when everything's broken. But as an advocate, that collaboration becomes intentional. It's all about preventing the fire in the first place by championing reliability right from day one.
So what does an advocate actually do day to day? Well, they're in the room for those early design discussions, kind of like you'd expect from a security team. They're helping lead production readiness reviews before a single user is ever affected. And here's the real game changer. They build self-service tools. This is huge because it empowers developers to take ownership of reliability themselves, which is a massive cultural shift. And, Ben Ferguson from our source material really highlights just how difficult this can be. Building this collaborative culture is not easy, especially in the early days. But getting it right is the foundation for absolutely everything that follows. It's the difference between constantly reacting and truly engineering for reliability.
Advocacy is a huge step for sure, but it's not the end of the road. The next stage takes this collaboration to a completely new level. You go from being an advocate to becoming a genuine partner.
And just look at the difference in agency here. An advocate tends to react to plans. A partner co-creates those plans. It's the difference between just supporting new features and actually helping shape the entire product roadmap. And it's the leap from building helpful one-off tools to creating the foundational systems that the entire engineering organization depends on. The source material calls this the reliability strata, and it's a perfect description. It's like the bedrock of your entire system. This is where SREs own the core monitoring libraries, the standard communication protocols, the tools for safe deployments. They're not just building on the platform, they are building the platform itself.
All of this work, all this advocating and partnering, it leads us toward the final, ideal state of SRE evolution, the engineer.
At this stage, the lines really do start to blur. Now, that doesn't mean SREs suddenly start writing front-end features. Not at all. They keep that laser focus on reliability. But the key difference is that everyone shares that focus. Reliability becomes a collective responsibility, woven into every single stage of the development lifecycle.
Now you're probably asking, is this just some unattainable ideal? And the source material is very pragmatic here. It says, yes, this stage can happen, but it's rare, and it's often unstable. It can be easily disrupted by things as common as a reorg or a budget change, anything that misaligns the incentives needed to keep this state alive.
So how do you actually get there? It's not just about evolving your mindset, it's also about how you grow your team. And that scaling journey has its own set of milestones.
As you can see, the path has these clear inflection points. That very first hire, they're all about getting the basics right, monitoring and learning from incidents. Once you get to around 6 people, you can finally establish a humane on-call rotation, which is absolutely critical for preventing burnout. As you grow further, you can get a global follow-the-sun model going. And eventually, you're not just a team, but a full-fledged SRE organization.
But here is the core principle of SRE scaling, and it is so important. It has to be sublinear. You can't just hire another SRE for every new service you launch. That doesn't work. The goal is to increase your impact without a proportional increase in headcount. So how is that even possible?
Well, think of it like this. Automation and common tooling are levers. A well-designed lever lets one person do the work of many, right? It's the same idea here. SREs build these platforms and tools that amplify their own impact, allowing them to tackle bigger, heavier, more complex challenges.
But like any journey worth taking, the path isn't always straight or simple. So it's really essential to understand some of the hard truths and caveats that come with this whole evolutionary model.
So, the crucial point here is to avoid treating this like some rigid maturity model. It is not a video game where you just level up and never go back. Teams can and do move back and forth between stages. A team of partners might get pulled back into firefighting mode, and that's okay. And you know what? That engineer stage may not even be the right end goal for every single team.
I love this piece of advice from David Caudill. It's so important. Don't let the quest for perfection paralyze you. It is so much better to have a complete, working system, even if it's a bit wobbly, than to have one perfect component sitting in isolation. You can always iterate and improve. It's all about progress, not perfection.
This quote from Daniel Gentleman really gets to the very heart of the SRE mission. It's not about being a hero or a gatekeeper. It's about being an enabler, a bridge builder. It's about empowering every other engineer to create reliable systems right from the ground up.
And that leaves us with a final thought to take away. I want you to look at your own team or your own organization. Where are they on this journey? Are they just stuck in that firefighting loop, or are they being empowered to become advocates and partners? And maybe most importantly, what can you do to help them take that next step?